Hey y'all, it's Kim. So I got a few things to share with y'all. I see a whole lot of desperation at this point from the Kamala Harris campaign. I don't know if you've seen all this stuff this week, but let me show you. Hold on. So I don't know if you've heard about this thing with Elon Musk. He has some type of petition, and there's the website to go to it. Basically, he's giving away like $1,000 or $1 million, excuse me, a day for all these different cities. And I don't know if you guys have seen the little socialist, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. She was freaking out about this at I guess, a campaign stop for Kamala Harris. Hang on, let me get over here to it. Where was my little Sorry, guys, let me get over here to it. She is right here. Let's play this. Hopefully. Okay.
Donald Trump putting on a little McDonald's costume because he thinks that's what people do. They're not trying to empathize with us. They are making fun of us. They are making fun of us.
Sorry, I should have prefaced it with, yeah, she was freaking out about the Donald Trump thing first, and then she's going to go on about Elon Musk. But where Donald Trump was at McDonald's with the French fries, and that was the video I did the other day, but I didn't have time yesterday to do it. I was too tired. Anyway, let me get this out of here. We'll let this play.
Donald Trump thinks that people who work at McDonald's are a joke. Elon Musk thinks that dangling money in front of a working person is a cute thing to do when the election of our lives is before us.
Let me say one more thing. So Ocasio Cortez, or AOC, she kind of claims that she's a radical and that I guess maybe she has Puerto Rican or Cuban something ancestry, whatever she has. She called herself, or people have called her, the little socialist. Well, Elon Musk is trying to give away $1 million for whatever this pack is, American something or another petition, basically for free speech and right to bear arms is the whole point. And because it doesn't fit in with what she would want somebody to spread their wealth with, that's why she's upset. But anyway, usually socialists are like, oh, you need to spread the wealth. You shouldn't have that much money, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you know much about socialism, but look it up because it's basically where nobody owns anything. Everybody owns each other's stuff, no property rights, all kinds of stuff. And of course, you have like an elite class, which will probably be in our day and age either the really, really rich or those in power. You know, of course, those rules wouldn't apply to them. But anyway.
At McDonald's. I'm looking for a job.
President Trump, I'm Derek Jack and Antonio. I'm the owner.
Oh, well, that's a good owner. Must be a wealthy guy, huh? Thank you very much. Well, I'm looking for a job, and I've always wanted to work at McDonald's, but I never did. I'm running against somebody that said she did, but it turned out to be a totally phony story. So if you don't mind, I want to work the French fry counter.
Absolutely.
Okay, how much you paying me?
How much are you paying? Medium fry part right here, sides, and then bottom.
Never even touch it, huh?
Exactly.
I always wondered, wow, that's pretty good stuff like that.
We will give them salt packets.
What's this stuff?
So I know we saw this the other day, but I just, I couldn't help but see it again because it's just crazy to me that the people get upset that he's taking his own time and going to McDonald's. And I know Kamala Harris supposedly worked at McDonald's, but he probably worked there longer than she ever did. But anyway, So I'm going to move on from this one because we've already seen this where he does the french fries, hands stuff out to people in the drive-thru. But let's look at a few other things. Hold on. I have to come back over here. Obviously, it's my email, but whatever. Let me see here. So I don't know if you've heard about this. They're just getting so desperate with all of this campaign. I mean, it's just nuts. I've never seen anything like this. But I don't know if you've seen this.
Was president, he said he wanted generals like Adolf Hitler had. Donald Trump said that because he does not want a military that is loyal to the United States Constitution. He wants a military that is loyal to him.
So not only do they call Trump Hitler, now they're saying that he wants to basically use the military against American citizens, which I have another thing here. I'm not sure about it yet. It's a Department of Defense Directive 5240.01. There is something in there, and this was actually revised on September 27th of this year, 2024. And it talks about using lethality. I'm not sure if that's what they're referring to as far as using the military, but who's in power right now? The Biden, Harris administration, not Donald Trump. Anyway, there's a form. You can go look it up and read it. I think it's on page 13. I'm just not sure if that's what it's referring to, but somebody else mentioned that they would use the military against citizens. The Biden-Harris administration is in power right now. The other thing that the person said was this is actually the Department of Defense, so they can kind of come up with their own rules, even if it butts up against the law. So I don't know. Look into it yourself. It's a DOD Directive 5240.01. Just check it out because I'm not sure if that's actually what it's talking about, but yeah. So they are so desperate at this point to try to keep Trump out of office that they're coming up with all kinds of stories. And we're what, 12, 13 days from the election, maybe? Anyway, I'll let this play.
He wants a military who will be loyal to him personally, one that will obey his orders even when he tells them to break the law or abandon their oath to the Constitution of the United States. In just the past week, Donald Trump has repeatedly called his fellow Americans the enemy from within, and even said that he would use the United States military to go after American citizens. And let's be clear about who he considers to be the enemy from within. Anyone who refuses to bend a knee or dares to criticize him would qualify in his mind as the enemy within, like judges, like journalists,
like politicians that hate America and they want to bring in socialism and communism. Y'all need to look this lady up. She is dangerous. If you love America, you want to preserve America and the values that we have here, do not let this witch get in power. She's horrible. The reason she won't give straight answers about policies is because she knows how horrible they are. They're not good for America. She's going to try to take our guns. They're already doing censorship. They've been doing censorship since 2021 with all the COVID stuff on Facebook, on Meta, on Twitter before it was ever switched hands. This lady is dangerous. I mean, I just don't see how people can't understand that. Everything that she wants to do does not benefit America. Why the hell would you open up the border? Why the hell would you do that? No other country would open up their own border and let all these people in. Are y'all serious? Ugh. This lady, oh my God, I cannot tell you how glad I'm going to be if Donald Trump does get into office because I cannot stand this woman. She is dangerous, and they need to get rid of all these senators that are Democrats. I mean, they're all in bed together. They all vote the same way for the most part. I mean, I hope they lose up and down the ballot. But anyway,
like nonpartisan election officials. It is deeply troubling and incredibly dangerous that Donald Trump would invoke Adolf Hitler, the man who is responsible for the deaths of 6 million Jews and hundreds of thousands of Americans.
Okay, let me say something about this. As far as Hitler, the reason that she probably doesn't get it, she doesn't know history, but Hitler was actually a nationalist in the sense of he thought that they should really be focused on German citizens. Why is that such a bad thing? I mean, yeah, they had a lot of other immigrants there. I'm not condoning what Hitler did, but I'm saying as far as the corollary between Hitler and what Trump wants is like America first. Well, obviously, Hitler wanted Germany first. They wanted a whole new race of these perfect people. That's not going to happen here in the United States, guys. We're such a melting pot. But if you're an American citizen, you have certain things that are naturally given to you as far as what the Constitution allows for yourself. It allows you to have free speech, allows you to own firearms. I mean, allows you privacy in your own home and stuff like that. I mean, have you looked at history? Have you read a book? I mean, no, Hitler was a horrible person. I don't think that's what Trump was even saying, if he even said it. But as far as what Hitler was, is he was kind of more, he came in as like a workers' party representative, acting like he was for the people. He got enough people sucked into it, and then he wanted to fulfill his goal of killing all these people and purging them from Germany because he wanted a perfect Aryan race. Go back and study eugenics. Go back and study, about what they did during that time. They even had eye color and hair color charts. I mean, read a book. Don't listen to what they tell you in school. Donald Trump is not trying to do that. He wants American citizens put first. Why is that a hard thing to understand, and why can't you wrap your mind around it? But of course, this is 2 weeks before the election, and this is what they have to pull up. That he's talking like he wants to be Hitler and a dictator. When he said that about that he would be a dictator on day one, he's talking about closing the border and drilling. So getting rid of all the regulations that the Biden and Harris administration has put into place, because all they care about is trying to regulate and control American citizens and us making money and having a better society for us. I mean, more money in our pockets. They want to screw us and make us dependent on other countries. So ridiculous, even though we're giving money to everybody else but our own people. Hello. Whatever. Let me finish this. But it just really gets me fired up with this kind of nonsense. She's not being truthful. Everything that they accused Trump of doing, you know damn well they're doing it. Even Joseph Goebbels, who was one of the generals of Hitler, he said he was a propaganda minister. He said basically to accuse the other side of the things that you're doing, demonize them, and then it takes the focus off of you. Projection, which would have been a defense mechanism that Freud put into place in psychology. Read a book, read some history, and you'll see a lot of this stuff happening. But they're depending upon people that are just like dumb, brain dead, walk around with the phone in their face all day, not reading books, not consulting anything other than what the news media says. Oh, if the news media says it, then it must be true. Anyway.
All of this is further evidence for the American people of who Donald Trump really is. This is a window into who Donald Trump really is, from the people who know him best, from the people who worked with him side by side in the Oval Office and in the Situation Room. And it is clear from John Kelly's words that Donald Trump is someone who, I quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist. who in fact vowed to be a dictator on day one and vowed to use the military as his personal militia to carry out his personal and political vendettas. Donald Trump is increasingly unhinged and unstable.
Actually, let's just look at this form. Y'all may have to go look at it further, study, check it out yourself. But here is, let me go back to the beginning of this because I was on page like 13 of this form. And anyway, it's the DoD intelligence and intelligence related activities and defense intelligence component assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. So what I was told that it was supposed to be for is that like they would put the military basically on the streets, assisting law enforcement. And then on page 13 of this, it just talks about the levels of authority, and there's different things here. This is the part that concerns me. And like I said, I'm not sure what all this means, but it's kind of scary when you read it. It says assistance, and I'm assuming they're talking about like assisting law enforcement, like ground work, well, not ground work, but like police officers and stuff like that. It says assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It is also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or group is reasonably anticipated. Such use of force must be in accordance with DoD 5210.56, potentially as further restricted based on the specifics of the requested support. So like I said, I'm not really sure what that means, but it is just scary that it uses lethality and death and serious bodily injury. And like I said, also, this came out September 27th, 2024. This is Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security. And then it's cleared for public release, and it's available on this website, whatever. And you see all this stuff on here, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's just kind of scary. I heard this from another podcast, and I was like, wow, that is kind of crazy. But yeah, you can look at this form. Like I said, it's a DoD Directive 5240.01. And then there's also this one, the DoD Directive 5210.56. So both of these forms, you can go in there and check out and see if it's what I think it is, but I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I was like, when I saw it, I thought, oh, what are they authorizing here? Like people will get shot or what? If we go against even law enforcement, like if you just say, like if you had another, what they call them, peaceful protests during the 2020 stuff or whatever, not really, but when they're burning down cities, that's not peaceful. But like even some of the January 6th people, so you're saying that you would just shoot unarmed civilians? Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I've tried to get some people to answer my question on that, and I still don't really understand it. But hey, look into it. We don't know what this government's capable of. You see they want to censor you. They don't care what you have to say. They just want to shut you up because they don't like being criticized. But anyway, let's finish this one.
And in a second term,
Ugh.
people like John Kelly would not be there to be the guardrails against his propensities and his actions. Those who once tried to stop him from pursuing his worst impulses would no longer be there, and no longer be there to rein him in. So the bottom line is this: we know what Donald Trump wants. He wants unchecked power. The question in 13 days will be, what do the American people want?
Exactly. And then when they keep going on about all this democracy stuff, we're a constitutional republic. We vote. There's an electoral college that actually makes the ultimate decision based on, I guess, how many people are actually in their district, whatever. I mean, this democracy stuff, they're the ones that keep going on about all this stuff. Just like, what was it, Obama now? Well, you know about, we talked about it on another video where basically Obama's talking about that men should be voting for Kamala Harris and all this other nonsense. But yeah, I mean, a lot of them are mad because they're like, we don't need to be
And staying
lectured
with the
to.
U.S. presidential election.
Sorry, it started playing. Like, we don't need to be lectured to about it. Hold on, let me see here.
Former president.
Let me get to that point where he's talking blah blah blah. That's somewhere right around. He goes in this hallway and starts talking
United
to him.
States of America.
And that wasn't it. As Barack Obama continued to open a bigger can of worms after addressing the crowds from the podium, he spoke to a group of Black men separately.
How are you?
He urged them to embrace women in power and pick Kamala Harris as their next president.
I'm going to go ahead and just speak some truths, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Because my understanding, based on reports I'm getting from campaigns and communities, is that we have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all.
Can I just stop for just a second? So I know what he's fixing to say. Basically, he's going to chastise the men that they need to vote for her. But if she was a really qualified candidate and give you good policies, and she was competent and she wasn't just ducking and dodging, people probably would be interested in voting for her. And it has nothing to do with misogyny and sexism and racism and all these other isms that everybody wants to say. She's just not a good person. You can tell if you ever listen to anything she says, it's always with this snarkiness. And then she also has like this flare to her nostril when she's fixing to start lying. She has to look around. She can't just answer the dang question. You know, she never seems to be prepared, or she uses talking points. And I cannot stand that kind of stuff. Just tell what you're going to do. If it keeps you from getting in the White House, oh well. But tell the truth. Don't sit back and lying and trying to gaslight people and say that, you know, you're going to do price gouging or work on that kind of stuff. There is no price gouging. You can't just give money and throw money at a problem. You have to come up with some kind of solutions. Anyway, these people are just so desperate and they're trying to shame people into voting for her. That's what the democracy is. I mean, as far as we have a right to vote for whoever we want to. We don't need to be lectured to by Obama, lied to from the White House about everything that Trump has ever done or said. We don't have to be lied to by Karine Jean-Pierre with her big fat binder full of talking stuff that she's probably going to get a book deal on if she loses and gets kicked out of the White House. I mean, we don't need all this. We don't need to be talked to crazy by James Carville. I don't know if y'all know who he is. That man just cusses every time you turn around. I mean, he's just constantly cussing and mad about everything. And I don't know why anybody listens to that. I guess he used to be some kind of a strategist, but he wears tacky clothes when he's on there. I mean, he's just like cussing about everything. Well, then leave the party if it's that bad and it's not going the way you want to. Quit voting. I mean, just if you're going to get that upset over it. But yeah, he was griping, saying, I guess that Trump is crazy and, you know, he's got dementia and all this other nonsense. But yeah, I'll finish this. But yeah, we don't need to be lectured to by anybody about who to vote for. We're going to vote based on our own best interests. But here you go.
All quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with it because part of it makes me think, I'm speaking to men directly. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
But the lecturing didn't stop there. As Barack Obama put on a stern fatherly act, he asked Black men to learn from Black women, whom the former president claims are against Donald Trump.
Because the women in our lives have been in our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble, the system's not working for us. They're the ones who are out there marching and protesting. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you. That's not acceptable. That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
What Obama meant was that the Democratic Party is seeing a slump in support for Kamala Harris among Black men.
And you wonder why. But she's not really, she's just not a good candidate. I mean, she hasn't done anything in the 3 years she was in there. She lost in 2019. I think she was the first one to drop out during the whole Democratic primary. She didn't even make it to Iowa. Go back and look at this stuff, y'all. I just don't know why anybody thinks that she would be good the second time around. She's an awful person. I mean, and for her to just be running totally on reproductive rights, Trump already said he's leaving it up to the states. If you don't like what the state's doing as far as abortion, move. I mean, what do you? It's taken out of the Supreme Court's hands. What else can he do? And why would you want to run around and just kill off the next generation anyway? We're already in a birth rate slump. People aren't having children. They can't afford to have children. Or if they do, they have a hard time taking care of them. I mean, good grief. I mean, people have been having kids for centuries. I don't know why it's such a hard time now, but I know some will be like, oh, well, what about the 3 exceptions? Okay, fine, but I'm not agreeing to that, but that's what Trump said. So if you're looking for a candidate, at least he's not wanting to kill off the next generation. He's even talking about the IVF stuff, and there's even people on the right that are like, oh, I don't know about the IVF. I mean, I don't know, you know, kind of squirrely on that idea. I still really don't know. I have never had to use it. But, you know, if people have to do what they have to do to have a baby, that's up to them. I'm not going to tell you don't do something. But, I mean, geez, there's just so much riding on this election. And just the fact that people don't want to take responsibility for children, I don't understand it. But I get it. I mean, just don't have sex to get, you know, pregnant if you feel that strongly about it. I mean, there's abstinence or birth control in other ways. Geez, but whatever. Adults are gonna do whatever they're gonna do. I get it, but yeah, there's just, I don't know, something about that. It just seems evil to me. But yeah, so this party, the Democrat Party, I think is really seeing how unpopular she is. They're desperate. They're pulling out all the stops until election day. It's unfortunate that that's where we're at. But I mean, I know Trump doesn't always say everything perfect. He's not like a typical politician. He doesn't say what everybody wants to hear a lot of the times. But I mean, at least he's trying to do what he can for America. You know, I didn't ask him to be my friend. I'm not asking him to date me. I'm not asking him to marry me. I'm not asking him to be my spiritual leader. I just want somebody to get in the office and run the country, get us back on track, get the money situation right, because this stuff is hard. You know, obviously, I don't make anything off of YouTube. I'm just telling you, I don't. This is not something that I plan to do all the time. I wanted to start a podcast because I watch a lot of them during the day. I mean, that's just something that I'm into. But this stuff with this politics, anyway, it's really getting to me. But I was gonna say, me and my husband both work. I work early mornings. He, is on a salary, but I mean, it's still hard for us to make ends meet, and we make pretty decent money for the two of us working. But I mean, I can't imagine some of these people that have one job trying to take care of kids and everything else and mortgage rates, and we haven't even gotten our full mortgage payment because right now it's on the unimproved taxes that mortgage plan, and then it'll go up in the next year or whatever. But still, if you know anything about housing, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But I mean, we are struggling, and we've been married for a long time, and it's hard. This economy really does suck. But I just wanted to show you that's how desperate they are. Let's see how this election checks out. Now we go Saturday and we're gonna vote. I think it's me, my husband, and my daughter. All three of us should be going, and we will be voting for Donald Trump. I don't care at this point. I'm tired of holding it in. I cannot stand the fact that they're using identity politics and just all the desperate moves, saying stuff about Trump. I mean, a lot of it's lies. If it is true, where's the evidence? And that clip with Kamala, she didn't even stop and ask or answer any questions. She just blurts this stuff out and then walks away. Kind of like Binder does, whatever. What's her name? Karine Jean Pierre. Anyway, she just walks off or just storms out of there because she's mad, like Peter Ducey gets her on stuff all the time. But they don't want to be questioned on anything. But yeah, we'll just see how this election shakes out. I mean, hopefully it's the best for everybody. We'll see how it goes. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm gonna get off of here. I've got a few other things to do today. Yesterday I was too tired of doing things or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing. Go check out all those videos and stuff. Go look up that DOD directive 5240.01 and then the 50 whatever I said it was. She already exited out, but you can go back in the recording if you're so inclined. But yeah, take a look at those. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.